Ghost-infested beaches that will give you chills. The sun, sand, and sea make frolicking on the beach the perfect escape from the daily grind. Enjoying various water activities brings some thrill, but for beachgoers who seek some kind of hair-raising thrills after soaking up the sun, here are ghost-infested beaches that will give you chills down your spine. Number 5. Moss Beach, California. It's not Moss Beach in California per se that's haunted by a so-called blue lady, but a restaurant on the beach called Moss Beach Distillery. Originally established in 1927 and illicitly sold alcoholic drinks and became a restaurant in 1933. The alleged lady ghost, identified as Mary Ellen, was stabbed to death along Moss Beach just below the restaurant more than 70 years ago. It was a crime of passion, according to tales surrounding Ellen's clandestine affair with a pianist, despite being a wife and mother. Ellen, who loved wearing blue dresses, and her lover frequented Moss Beach Distillery and took romantic walks along the beach, where one night she was stabbed repeatedly. Many believed it was her husband who found out her extramarital affair. Since then, the spirit of Ellen has appeared to restaurant staff and guests as a ghost dressed in blue, who would tap their shoulders when they're alone, cause things and furniture to move on their own, give out faint whispers, lock the rooms, and tamper with the computer system. When darkness sets in, Moss Beach's ghost looms. Number 4. St. Pete Beach, Florida. A very prominent structure located in St. Pete Beach, Florida is definitely hard to miss by visitors and tourists. With its stately facade painted in pink, the Don Cesar Hotel has been a staple on the shoreline of the beach since 1928. However, it's not only the four-diamond beachfront hotel that makes its presence felt, but also its new owner, Thomas Rowe, whom the lucky ones might see walking along the beach or smiling at the hotel entrance. Except that he died 8 decades ago. Rowe fell in love with Spanish opera performer Lucinda, but their marriage plans were intercepted by her parents. Thus, she was taken away from Rowe. Rowe built the Don Cesar Hotel as a tribute to his long-lost love, Lucinda. He put so much blood, sweat, and tears into the hotel that when he died in 1940, his spirit stayed. Today, there are sightings of Rowe sporting an old-fashioned Panama hat and white suit, sometimes along with a woman wearing a traditional Spanish peasant dress at the hotel and beach. Are Thomas and Lucinda reunited at last? Number 3. Brighton Beach, Australia. Brighton Beach in Adelaide, South Australia has remained a relatively safe beach, not until a fatal shark attack in 1926 brought shock to the folks in the city and later sowed fear because of the victims' reported ghostly apparitions. In March 1926, local lifesaver Kathleen "Kitty" White was giving swimming lessons to some kids and her own children at the Brighton Beach. After the class, White decided to go back into the water alone, unknowing that she was in the company of a 3.5-meter great white shark. Witnesses then heard her screams while she was struggling in the deep, and soon she was surrounded by bloody water. White died and became the first shark attack fatality in Adelaide's Brighton Beach. She made sure that she'll be remembered, as White has been allegedly sighted running along the shores or along the pier wearing swimwear or clothes that belonged to a past era. Some have claimed seeing a young lady jump into the water, but she simply vanishes before hitting the water. Their descriptions all point to White, who is believed to haunt the beach because of her traumatic death. Number 2. Higby Beach, New Jersey. Cape May in New Jersey is one of the oldest towns in America. Established in 1620, it's also one of the country's most haunted places. Its best-known ghostly spot? The Higby Beach, famous for its quartz Cape May diamonds, birth-watching activities, nude sunbathers, and the ghost of Thomas Higby, one of the Higby brothers who bought a tavern in the once farmland Higby Beach in 1823. The brothers converted it into a beachfront hotel, and after they died in the 1870s, niece Etta Gregory inherited the entire Higby estate. Thomas was buried in a grave near the hotel as stated in his will, but Etta thought against her Uncle Thomas's wish that his remains should be transferred next to her at the Cold Springs Presbyterian Cemetery when she died in 1937. That started the sporadic spectral sightings of a man thought to be Thomas, a man in a long coat, sometimes accompanied by a black dog that appears on the beach, glides up over the hill, only to be seen again drifting into the ocean and disappearing underwater. The beach is named after him, remember? Number 1. Dumas Beach, India. Dumas Beach in Gujarat, India has two faces. When the sun is up, it provides a relaxing escape from the city's toxicity. But when the sun goes down, it turns into a lair of paranormal activities. Those who dared to spend the night on the beach reported hearing weird sounds of howling, whispering, sudden outbursts of crying and laughing. The locals have allegedly witnessed white apparitions and moving orbs and other inexplicable and out-of-this-world activities on the beach. Worst of all are reports of a man found dead on the beach with his tongue popping out, and mysterious disappearances of tourists and townfolk. What seems to be the cause of these hauntings? The widespread belief is that Dumas Beach used to be a Hindu burial ground and that the spirit wandering there during the night are those that want eternal peace or have been trapped or confused of where they are. Superstitious locals point out the beach's black muddy-like sands believed to have been mixed with the ashes from cremation, proof that Dumas Beach is the sanctuary of the dead. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to our channel for your daily fix of awesome infotainment.